everybody, welcome to Thrice's Download. This is Thrice, coming at you today with today's episode called Monday's Intervention. Gonna basically just spit to you guys real quick something that I do for myself, especially Mondays, in the aspect of assessing your situation, facing what you need to do and what you want to do, what is in your path to get what you need done. And this goes into health, mental aspects, emotional aspects, going across the board. Because again, this is a seeker's perspective, hence the name Thrice. Coming at you with a special 369. Gotta love it. So what I'm going to talk about today is my intervention. And I want you to look at yourself when I'm asking these questions about what I say to myself and think about them for a second in your own perception, in your own life. So basically, something that I try to do, not just every Monday, but every day really at some point, is to reflect upon not just the positive affirmations, but what I call negative affirmations. Negative affirmations, in the sense of it, is the darker side of the affirmation aspect. So when you say a positive affirmation, you say, I am strong, I am healthy, I am happy, I have great things in my life, my body is strong, my body is happy, the trillion cells that fill my body are wonderful and always doing their jobs and are on task. Those are all positive affirmations. You can even say positive affirmations to people at work if you're a manager, such as good job. That is how simple positive affirmations get in the physical sense. So not only is it a spiritual thing that you can use in the sense of meditation, which was the first thing I said, but you can also use it in just regular everyday living, which, you know, you can say has a deeper spiritual meaning. But again, I like to give you all sides of the perspective. So, but with that, in the opposite sense, you have the negative affirmation, which, of course, in the basic physical sense, is you suck. Screw you, you know, all those fun things. Or you do a horrible job. There's, of course, that direct, all the way extreme side, but there's also this other aspect of you could do this better. And that's something I say to myself is I could do this better. What am I lacking in? What is something that will improve the path that I'm on and improve my positive affirmations to grow, to be able to say that, like, I can code, I can write HTML5, I know PHP, that's something I'm working on. But I cannot say those affirmations wholeheartedly because they are not fully true. So that is something that I have a firm belief in when it comes to affirmations, is yes, you can say certain things in order to create for your future and to set those affirmations for yourself as something to reach as a goal, but also it is good to be true to yourself and to be real in the moment of now, where you are now, because dwelling in the past and projecting to the future are not where you exist in the physical consciousness. You have to have that intervention with yourself to face yourself and say, what is really going on right now? Because you can say everything's sunshine and rainbows and keep faking it to make it, but the reality is you will just be faking it. And I know that term can be really good in the first essence of things, but when you really want to open up to this idea of being yourself and serving your purpose, or living a life that's even really worth living, faking it is never really going to make it. You're only going to make it in something that you have to fake it to be in. And if you have to fake it to be in something, then obviously that's not something you want to do. And that's kind of why I'm calling this Monday's Intervention. Because interventions are supposed to be life-changing facing of facts and information. So if somebody sits you down and says, hey, this is an intervention, we're telling you this so you can change your life and make a decision based upon what people think who care about you. And that whole aspect in itself is who cares about you more than yourself. Because it's the aspect of self-preservation. I'm not saying your mother couldn't love you extremely and you're a depressive person who doesn't like yourself. Rare situation. Well, that's a unique situation, not rare. But, and if that's the case, I love you. Feel the love. Listen to me more. You'll get some love from me. Chat with me. Hey, what's up? But in the real sense of it, these negative affirmations can really help you because it's like that devil's advocate. It's that, what's the word? You know, it's the cynicism. You got to have that little bit of cynical aspect. You got to have the balance of the dark and the light. You can't just keep positively affirming everything until your hopes and dreams come true, while everything around you is in utter chaos, and just act like, oh, that's fine. that's ignoring the reality around you and getting dirty and facing the darkness and crying and enjoying the pain of sympathy and empathy, and even the pain of lessons that you have to learn. Learning to enjoy and embrace those things are why we have those things. And that's how you really move into your happiness and dreams. And that's where I kind of disagree with that whole fake it to make it aspect and over positive affirmations, where people get a little, I am wealthy, I am going to succeed beyond all dreams of measure. And it's like, yes, but is that really what you want? That affirmation doesn't work for everybody who may not really care about the wealth, or who may not be wealthy at all. So when they say, the affirmation says, I am wealthy, their ego immediately has something to argue with. Like, I think that we have to work with the affirmations that we're ready to take on. Because not all of us are these Zen monks of conscious being that know, I know what the ego is, and I know what consciousness is, and I can separate the two. Hey, guess what, guys? I know I'm not there, and I know most of the masses aren't there. So we gotta start where we're at, and then we'll work to this great guru, yogi, Zen place where everybody's happy and we don't have money and all that fun stuff. But for now, we gotta face the facts. We gotta be a little bit cynical to ourselves, to each other, and really be there for ourselves and each other in the community aspect of corrective or constructive and corrective criticism. I like calling it corrective criticism because corrective criticism can be destructive, because you do have to destroy walls and break down barriers sometimes in order to actually evolve and change. This whole concept of building up being the only aspect, going to the light, living that blessed life of peace and prosperity. Where's the real aspect of what the nitty-gritty is? Getting dirty and having chaos and knowing what that really means. I mean, I've heard stories of families who have houses that are utter chaos, but, the kids are in honors, a son who didn't go to college is being a musician and growing and blowing up, and the wife is a writer and the dad's staying home. I mean, tons of different families and situations out there. If you really study this thing called life, there's no right way to live it, folks. And that's really what you got to face the facts on. What are you trying to prove? What is dictating your life that doesn't need to be there anymore? And that's something that I try to do every day, really. But I mean, Monday is really my day to focus on that. And I'll let you know a little bit about what I go through. I try to practice different magical aspects of life, shamanism, things like that. And every day I'm trying a new aspect of meditation or channeling in the aspect of plants. I try not to go too far into the spiritual channeling of entities that aren't really physically here with us. I try to focus on the physical spirits, such as plants and animals. Because, we all have our steps and lessons and journeys and paths. So this is mine. And with that, I have different ferments and different food items that I use that I have relationships with, like raw meat or raw bison, raw steak, those kind of things, or that kind of meat I eat and I enjoy, my body enjoys, it feels good. I ferment some of it in soy sauce or apple cider vinegar and lemon juice. It's amazing. And that is a part of my diet that I've had to incorporate as something that is essential for my body, just like having the fermented foods, or the fermented vegetables and raw vegetables, as well as raw fermented sodas and meads. One of the new things that we're doing in the home is Viking mead, where we do a wild ferment of mead, of honey mixed with ginger, apples, hodgepodge of different things that we have in the house, where it's really got all these different yeasts, but the honey is the basis of what the yeast eats because it's got the sugar in it. And then we actually do add a little molasses to it. So it's really this amazing mixture of fermentation, of fermented life. And in that essence, that is something that I'm not going to say we, because I'm not going to speak for my fiance, but that I know for me, I have had to really face and incorporate in my life, where I've let things grow like kombucha or kefir. I've let these cultures, these fermentation cultures, grow, and then I don't care for them, and then they spoil, and I just wasted sugar, I wasted water, or wasted honey, or even beets. Like, we've got a jar that got moldy because the lid wasn't cleaned properly, and some stuff rises. I didn't know about cam yeast, and by the way, if you're a fermenter and you found this, because my fermentation hashtag, cam yeast is cool. Scrape it off, get rid of it, don't throw away your stuff. If you get cam yeast and you're fermenting, just scrape it off, throw that away, keep the ferment, because you do not want to waste as much stuff as I have wasted because I thought cam yeast was mold. Cam yeast will make your stuff smell. So if you see cam yeast, which, first of all, pay attention to your ferments. If you see cam yeast, just scrape it off right away. Another thing you can do is add water to flood out the cam yeast. Because you should have your jar of whatever you're fermenting or container should be pretty full. So I usually flood it with water or flood it with some type of juice that I'm using for fermentation, and get the cam yeast, like float the cam yeast out basically, or just scrape it off. But you don't want to let it sit in there. It will make it smell, but it's not bad for the actual fermentation inside the liquid. The issue is the smell. A lot of people are turned away from it. But that's cam yeast for all you fermentation and yeast and bacteria buddies out there. But, going back to what I was talking about, doing these different things to help my life are things that I've had to face with these little interventions I do for myself. These negative affirmations of saying, what can I do to be healthier? And drinking soda, that's one of them. Or really buying soda, also with my economic aspects of my life. How to be better financially, not wasting a bunch of money on products that I can make in my own home. Like making ginger soda or ginger beers is so much fun and fascinating, as well as the Viking mead style that I've been starting to make. Combining those together is a whole nother game too. Actually, we made something recently and it was like cola. It literally tasted like Coca-Cola kind of thing. But I'm actually going to do an episode on that tomorrow. We're going to talk about action and doing creating fermentations and sticking to it, and doing things like that will require repetitive action over time, and how to do that in a free flow style without having to actually regiment it all the time, and being organized without complete Nazi anal organization where you're constantly, under a microscope. But I hope you guys enjoyed. That was kind of just a little bit about how I deal with my Monday interventions and my daily interventions. Focusing on those negative affirmations in the positive light, really focusing that evil doesn't have to be everything dark. Darkness is way more than just the evil connotation we have given it. And negative is only an aspect of electricity, if you really want to think about the polarity of it. Or it's actually an aspect of polarity, if you want to think about that. Fun things, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed. Just kind of me spitting a little late here. I know it's already Tuesday, but had issues with my podcast. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, you should face yourself and really put yourself on point and help yourself grow. And it all begins with you, folks.
This is my